Larry White, you've been the most exciting driver at Super Dirt Week for what, 5, 6, 7 years now? Like up on the outside, going where you had to go, and it's never paid off. Finally, it paid off. Is it victory? Is it relief? What does it feel like?
It's a huge relief off our shoulders. It's that monkey on our back of, I try not to leave anything on the table because the last thing you want to do is load up thinking that there's one last thing you could do. And finally, with just experience and being around guys like Pat Ward and Billy Decker that have just over the years taught me, you're good here, but you need to let up here and you need to get a little bit more aggressive there, and able to finally package that all together and into one event, and it came out on top.
It's got to feel good, but to come out on top, those late restarts where Jimmy Phelps was still up front, and it looked like that conservative strategy might pay off, because it almost looked like your run to the front kind of stalled out for a little bit, and then late in the race you were able to do it. Did you think you might have used up your stuff?
No, I think we kind of just fell in line. I wasn't going to try and push the envelope when everyone's in a rhythm running, and we got those late yellows and we just used them to our advantage. We were trying to do our best to keep our tires from sealing up. We put a special sight package in them to keep them from sealing, and it was just crucial to make sure everyone else doesn't scuff their tires and seals them up, and we keep scuffing and going up in the dust and spinning them, and that was really the plan. And I think we were able to fire so good on those restarts because our tires were still fresh.
While you were deep in the field, and you had to be noticing you were around Stuart Freeze and a lot, like there were a few cars that could get out there and really pass. How important was it when you were outside of the top 20 to at least be ahead of the guys who are really good here in traffic?
Honestly, I think that was more important than passing Jimmy for the lead, because a guy like Stewie, to line up next to him, way back 35th, 36th, wherever we were, it's who's going to get there first, because whoever gets there first, they ain't going to let the other one by.
Was there any holy moly moments in that trip through traffic? Because there was a lot of cars bouncing off the wall, bouncing off each other. I mean, it was just hard to find that edge. Were there any moments where you thought, okay, I might have just ended my day?
No, I don't think there was any moments where we put the car in a bad situation. We were able to if we threw it in somewhere, we were stuck enough to get by the person without any contact. I think the only concerning time I had was running behind Billy Van Ejuwen, bouncing off the backstretch just about every lap. I was just waiting for him to get turned in front of us, but he was able to keep it straight, and we were able to get by him on another restart. So, it was just one of those perfect storms. Everything played in our favor. We got the right cards.
He had the fastest bullet today. He dodged all the bullets. Larry White, Super Dirt Week champion. Well, Stuart, second place 2 days in a row. It's like going to the prom with your sister, isn't it?
Yeah, damn right. A couple small trophies that we really don't want, and it is what it is. We had fast race cars, and it just didn't play out for us.
I think if there's one positive that everyone but you can take from this weekend, it's that the excitement is back in Super Dirt Weekend, that you can go into the pits, drive through a lot of traffic. Did you realize at the time, those restarts when you were deep in the field with Larry, with Peter Britton, there's a lot of heavy hitters back there, that you were racing for the win in the back of the field?
Now for a while there, I didn't think we were going to make it up through. I was having some problems passing guys. Larry got a couple guys and kind of got mired in line for a little bit. But our strategy was right. I don't think we would have done anything else as far as taking tires and stuff, and just it is what it is. But it's a great racetrack. It rubbers up a little bit on the bottom, but not super hard where it just kills the racing. You can still race all over it, so it was fun.
Why does everyone have enough speed to linger on the lead lap? Like, even the cars that weren't charging through the field, they're still good enough to not get lapped. So when you do go in the pits, you're not going back to 15th, you're going back to 30th.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. There is, because there's that little bit of grip on the bottom. It's not a hard rubber, but it equalizes a lot and keeps the speed up enough. So everybody's fast enough to not just start going down laps. You're not lapping a ton of cars, and the way the cautions played out and bunched the field back up, you didn't really get in lap traffic too many times.
With your career down south going fairly well, how many more Super Dirt Weeks do we get to watch Stuart Friesen racing?
hopefully all of them. We'll see what happens though.
What are things looking like down there?
We got some irons in the fire, but you know, we gotta close out this year where we're at, and just try to get a darn win with the truck. We got a great race team and a lot of support from Chevrolet and GMS. That's awesome. Great teammates. So hopefully, if everything goes together, we'll be back next year with it again. And but we just gotta put a good weekend under our belt next week at Talladega and try to keep marching on in the chase.
The most exciting thing for the race fans is that Stuart Friesen goes from Daytona to Talladega, back to the dirt, where we like to see him. So we like keeping him here, put on a hell of a show. Second place twice this weekend. Peter Britton, crew chief Tracy, third place today. You know what, in some ways, does third feel any better than second?
Well, I guess I got an education here last year. I mean, I was heartbroken after the race because we let it for so long, but in reality, the way you got to race this track, we really, you find out you might have just had the track position, but you weren't really in the lead, maybe. I mean, sounds weird to say that, but so here, we felt like we had the right strategy. Just unfortunately, the track changed in a way we didn't anticipate it towards the end, and we didn't quite get there. So when you're charging towards the end, I guess you feel better than just getting your heart ripped out in the last lap, maybe. But I don't know. Either way, it's not first, so it's a podium, and I guess it's okay. I don't know if one's better than the other, to be honest.
On one hand, Larry White, Stuart Friesen, Peter Britton, what all three have in common is they're three drivers who aren't afraid to come through traffic to make that bold move. How challenging is it to be a crew chief for that, Tracy, and set up for that move?
I think we have Peter behind the wheel, and you have Troy Race Cars and Enders Motors and stuff like that. It makes it a whole lot simpler, to do it. I think we can compete with any of those guys on any given night.
Were there too many competitive cars? I mean, listening to the scanner to guys like Brett Herner, we're in 30th spot and still talking about strategy that they think could carry them towards the front, and it just never did. I mean, a lot of guys coming in. I've never seen more tire changes, more adjustments, ways to find speed, and even when they did pick up speed, it's not enough to pass 20, 30 race cars to get to the lead. So what do you learn from this to say, okay, let's put our finger on this moment that if we could have done that a little different?
Well, I mean, for this particular situation, if we had to come in at that lap 125 caution and put tires on that instead of waiting to 150, I mean, you never know what's going to happen, but I guarantee we would have been damn closer. But it just, unfortunately, but if the track stayed the same as what it did last year, I feel like we would have won the race. So it's, you said it right. It's challenging. I mean, there's so many great. I mean, there's big block modified racing at Super Dirt Week. I mean, there's some damn good competitors here, and that's what you want, And I think, like you said, at the end of the day, you got to have a good car and you got to be able to pass cars. I don't think you're going to win this race just by, like at the mile where you get track position and just hold everyone off. And I think that's better racing, if you ask me. Like a guy that's going to win is going to earn it.
As corny as it is, the fans really won this weekend. If you look at the racing that we had, and even at the end, you're charged to third. You didn't walk to third place. You freaking charged to third and did what you had to do. We'll still give you donuts, Peter, if you'll come and have them.
Donuts and coffee, I'm there.
Tracy, congratulations. Pretty good weekend.
Yes, thanks. It was a great weekend.
First and third, not as joyous with third place tonight. Still a pretty good run for Peter Britton.